But let's talk about MAGA Mike a little bit. MAGA Mike has been playing a lot of games with some of the Republican supporters. Let's make sure I have everything pulled up here for some more MAGA Mike discussion because it's trending right now. MAGA Mike is trending on Twitter. And X. Everybody keeps calling it Twitter. I don't call it Twitter anymore. It's X. I'm sorry. I don't call it X anymore. I call it Twitter because it's always been Twitter. But we got MAGA Mike. And here's the thing. So now a lot of people are mad at Mike Johnson. MAGA Mike Johnson. That's what they call him. The man once hailed by conservatives as the savior, this biblical, almost Jesus-like figure, resurrecting the speakership to a new level. That's what we were kind of sold by MAGA Mike Johnson. That he was saving us from the evil Kevin McCarthy. As a Kevin, we don't claim him, but from the evil Kevin McCarthy. But now MAGA Mike Johnson is the new devil. He's bad. He's the flavor of the week, or the bad flavor, the throwaway flavor of the week, if you will, because he allowed this spending package on Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, etc. And if I sound condescending or like that, I'm bashing anybody for thinking he's the new devil and kind of turning on him so quickly. It's only because I think that the reaction that some Republicans in Congress are having is not thought through. The anger against MAGA Mike is more than warranted. At one point, I'm old enough to remember that the southern border was MAGA Mike's top priority. Now we come to find out that that isn't so much the case. Take a look and listen to this clip of MAGA Mike Johnson and a compilation of some of his statements throughout his time.
Telling all of you, and we've told the American people, border, border, border. We have to effect real policy change at the border, and that is a necessary condition to anything we do going forward. We have to take care of our border first. That's what the American people demands.
Every state in America is now a border state.
Border, border, border. How can we be engaged in securing the border of foreign countries if we can't secure our own? We know the urgency in Ukraine. We're going to stand for freedom and make sure that Vladimir Putin doesn't march through Europe. It's past time to secure the border.
Listen, this is a catastrophe down here.
The battle is for the border.
President Biden wants a supplemental spending bill. It better begin by defending America's national security.
Okay, these are dangerous people who are coming into the country. Over 300 known terrorists.
How can we be engaged in securing the border of foreign countries if we can't secure our own?
Yeah, I have the same thought, Mr. MAGA Mike Johnson. I wish I could get that one face that he was just doing back there. That would have been really funny, but we could just get like some, yeah, there we go. MAGA, he just looks disappointed in that picture. I'll keep that on screen here. But that's what's going on with MAGA Mike Johnson, is that he at one point was border, border, border. He himself said that. That's actually a direct quote, border, border, border. But now, for some reason, obviously he's not gone there. So everybody who's mad at him kind of makes sense, because it was not until after, because we saw all the spending and everything, billions of dollars for other countries, nothing for the border. Only after all that and considerable feedback from members, as he said, did he offer up a fifth bill on the border that will likely be axed by the Senate. It's similar to HR 2 for anybody that's watching that keeps up. So your anger, our frustration at this spending is more than warranted. However, I do have an unpopular opinion among many Republicans on this issue. At least a lot of Republicans that tend to watch my show. Let me know in the comments. Tell me how wrong I am, that I'm an idiot. I don't care. Your disrespect of any kind wouldn't mean much to me. But my opinion is that now is not the time to vacate the speakership like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie would suggest. Our majority in the House right now, when I say our, Republican majority in the House is slim, as it is. McCarthy is out. He left Congress. That dude from New York, that lying scumbag dude, he's also out from New York. And there are other moderate Republicans that have threatened to leave if we go through with the same thing that we did to McCarthy last year. We have a very, very, very slim majority in the House right now. I want to capitalize that very slim majority in the House right now. We cannot sacrifice the little strength that we do have to try to stalwart more progressive legislation, because that's what could happen. That's what could happen. I believe Mike Johnson is between a rock and a hard place. If you watch the C-SPAN interviews and stuff that he did after this, he looked defeated. He was. Put yourself in his shoes for a second. Not defending the package. I don't like it. I think it was bad. I don't think it should have even been on the floor. But put yourself in his shoes. His job is to appease the entire Republican Party, which is not going to be easy when you obviously have moderates and then you also have your MTGs. So he's got to appease all of them. And then along with that, he's also facing pressure from a Democrat-led Senate to get legislation through, and a president that's a Democrat, and all the people that surround that. He's being pulled in every direction, and he's not going to make anybody happy. He is bound to piss people off. So what do I mean is that now, I don't like this spending package. In Kevin's utopia, if I was God King Dictator of America, which you guys should all vote for me for God King Dictator when you see that on the ballot, vote for Kevin, God King Dictator of America. If I was that, this spending package wouldn't need to be a thing. And we'd have all of my policy that I would like. But unfortunately, that's not the way that our government is currently set up. Our government is currently set up where we have decently reliable conservatives in our judicial branch. We have that much power. If that I don't know if the camera can pick up. Let's say it's that much power, but there's a really small space in there that the camera can't pick up. That's about how much power we have right now in the legislative branch. And then we have less than that, that much in the presidency. We have nothing. So when it comes to our legislation, the alternative, if we kick out Mike Johnson and lose our majority in the House, is legislation that would make it illegal for parents to deny their kids gender transformative surgeries, gender affirming care, as they would call it, genital mutilation, as I would call it. What you would see is radical spending bills where $60 billion seems like breadcrumbs to what they would send over to Ukraine. Taxing out the wazoo, inflation up because it doesn't matter. Climate crisis spending on a lot of crap. Abortion enshrined and taxpayer funded into law. Look, I get being mad at Mike Johnson for this, but look at the bigger picture. If we lose our majority, then the only government that we have any sort of control over is state and kind of the judicial branch. So, put up with it. Because the alternative is so much worse. Look at the bigger picture. And then also even consider this, because if that defense, like I said, this is not a defense of the bill, but if that doesn't convince you, I really want you to think about his role, but vacating him would also be pointless. If anything, it would work against us. And consider this. It's a huge election year. It's a huge election year, 2024, where Republicans are expected to fare well. We're supposed to do well. But public perception of low information swing voters is very important. And a disorganized Republican Party, and when I say that, a Republican Party that is once again fighting over the speakership will not be the image we want to project. And that's what we will have if we vacate or motion to vacate. That's my belief is MAGA Mike. You might be mad at him. You might feel betrayed by him. But to vacate right now will do so much more worse than good. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments.